Morris, special announcer for the NWA. And with me is two-time heavyweight wrestling champion Harley Race. One of the few men to attain that feat, being champion 2 times, Harley. Your last time you won was February 6th of '77 at the Toronto Maple Leaf Gardens. Now, since you've attained your heavyweight championship the second time, you have defended it hundreds of times and been very successful. In just a few seconds, we're going to see some of those successes. But what's the reason behind this? What do you attribute your success to?
Well, Bill, I devote a lot of my life to what I do. And I say a lot, I'm saying darn near 95%. I stay in condition above and beyond anything else. You're looking at it right here, right now. You can see that once I get a man in a position to be beat, I do not let up at any time. And through these clips, you'll be seeing all but one of these people beat with this move right here.
Now, this is what you call the vertical suplex.
Vertical suplex. And it will do nothing but tear you apart from the middle of your back right to the top of your head.
Well, Harley, it seems like you hit that mat about as hard as they do, but I guess the edge is that you're on top.
It's the whip of the way you're bringing them down. As you can see here, I don't show any mercy for any human being once we hit that ring, and I don't expect to be showing any. Here it goes again, and you can see, and they're going to show this one back in slow motion. I want you to watch this man's body when it hits the ground, and the whip that comes back up through. I think it'll go back here to it. Yeah, here we go. Now watch at the absolute end of it when he's hit the mat. Watch how his body whips all the way completely through.
Now, for a moment there, you are both in midair. You're not touching the mat at any time either.
No, but I have the advantage of having his head tucked under, and his head comes down. This particular match right here was in Tokyo, Japan. This is Japan, one of Japan's greatest wrestlers.
Now, he was an Olympic champion, wasn't he?
Yes, he was in 1972 in Munich.
It's got to be a thrill when they hold your arm up and again you've defended your crown.
It certainly is. This particular film right here was from Melbourne, Australia. An Italian kid by the name of Rick Martel. And again, you've got to be absolute alert at all times. As you watched him run up those ropes, I just dove out of the way, and then he was mine.
When they go up in that position, they've got to know it's all over.
They do, and I do, and virtually every wrestling fan around the world. And I have been around the world in this reign as world champion 3 different times, to Australia, 2 to New Zealand, 2 to Tokyo, Japan, a couple of weeks in old Mexico. This is being one of the last ones here. The reason for this is how I won the world's heavyweight title with Terry Funk right here. The Indian Deathlock. Once it's on, there's no one going to get out of it. And you can see the man is just wanting it over, wanting to turn loose and say, Harley Race, you are world's heavyweight champion.
You're champion again. Of course, there has to be as much pressure on you on that particular hold as there is on your opponent.
No, by far. You've got the tightness of the lock. They've got the pain against both knees and both ankles. And if they don't give it up, you can tear a cartilage out in that amount of time.
Again, that's where your conditioning comes in.
Conditioning and absolute determination.
Well, Harley, the wrestling fad, if you want to call it a fad, the sport of wrestling has passed into the high schools and grade schools. Do you have a quick word for these aspiring young wrestlers?
Well, first off, I'd say stay entirely away from your drugs of any kind, the alcohol, and keep your body in absolute top condition. That's the only way you can be a winner, is be better than the other person. To do that, you got to be in better shape than him. And this right here is symbolic of being in the greatest shape of any human being on the face of the earth. It says right on top, world's heavyweight champion, and which means that I can beat any man in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, there he is, Harley Race. I'm Bill Morse for the NWA.
Available on all streaming platforms. It's professional wrestling's greatest, largest, privately owned wrestling library. All the classic hits, flips, slams, and pins of yesteryear are on one place. It's Ultimate Classic Wrestling. Check out the Nature Boy Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Mr. USA Tony Atlas, Tito Santana, Rick Martel, a who's who of professional wrestling's greatest spotlight stars ever to grace the squared circle, all in one place. Grab the best seat in the house for memories and mayhem on Ultimate Classic Wrestling.